We know NoCo. From Town Square Media, this is Tuned Into NoCo. I'm Ashlee Meehleis. Good morning and welcome into Tuned Into NoCo. Hope the day is going well. Today we have Martin Grieder. He is the Group Vice President from Consumer Hearing at Sonova with us. First off, Martin, thank you so much for being here. Why don't we start with Consumer Hearing? What do you guys do?
So the consumer hearing business was actually founded a year ago by the acquisition of the Sennheiser consumer business. Sennheiser used to be historically, or still is, well known for its headphones, its professional gear for studios, and we've been able to acquire their consumer business. The Sennheiser family still runs the professional business, and we've done this because there's new regulation now coming out or has come out in the U.S. Where hearing aids can be sold over the counter, online, or through other consumer channels. And as such, we were looking for a well-known brand in the consumer space under which we could sell our newly developed OTC hearing devices and our speech-enhanced hearable devices.
Now, in your press release, you said 1 in 5 Americans experience some sort of hearing loss. That's quite a few. So what are the early symptoms, and how do you know when it's time to seek professional help?
Yeah, usually what happens is you're in a noisy restaurant, you're trying to follow a conversation, and you're struggling to understand every word. You maybe put your hands behind your ears to understand better. If you're doing that, then you've probably got some sort of mild hearing loss. Then you can do one of two things. You can either check out one of those speech enhanced hearables, which is on the market now. For example, our Conversation Clear Plus. They really help you well for situational hearing boost. If you're having troubles understanding conversations the whole time, even in quiet environments, then you probably want to seek a healthcare professional and do a hearing test, because you most likely have a moderate to severe hearing loss.
When somebody does go in and get tested and say they have to get some hearing aids, I know a lot of people, they can be pretty self-conscious about wearing those. Do you think any new technology is out there that will help address this aesthetic concern?
Definitely, yeah. It's a very exciting time right now, because it's true. We ran a survey just recently with 2,500 people, an independent survey, and there 35% of all people said that they would feel some degree of embarrassment if they were to wear a hearing aid in public or with friends. So that's 1 out of 3. And what we also know is that when people are diagnosed with a hearing loss, it takes them on average 7 years to actually act upon this and get help and buy a hearing aid.
Really?
And that's really due to the stigma. And so what's happening now from a technology point of view is that you have speech-enhanced hearable or earbuds, which are integrating powerful directional microphones and beamformers, which allow these devices to speech enhancement. So they do great music, they do great noise canceling, but on top of that, they'll do excellent speech enhancement.
Wow, that's great. Now, if somebody listening has a hearing problem or suspects that they have one and they need more information, where should they go?
I think what's good to know is that today, in the past, hearing aids, they came kind of one size fits all. And now you have basically 3 groups of hearing aids. You have the traditional hearing aids, which really cater to someone who has a moderate to severe hearing loss, needs all-day support. If you have that kind of hearing loss, you want to go and see a healthcare professional, get your hearing tested, and seek professional help. If you have a moderate hearing loss, you can now buy hearing aids over the counter. You'll find them online, on Amazon or in Best Buy, and they do a good job. They are also for someone who needs all-day hearing support or hearing boost. And then you have the third group, which are these speech-enhanced hearables, which really break down the stigma. You can't really tell anymore that they're a hearing aid, and they will do a great job for situational support in noisy environments.
Now, I can imagine it's easier for adults to monitor their hearing loss, but what about kids? Is there a certain sign or symptom that parents should look out for?
Yeah, I mean, there's The percentage of children who actually suffer from hearing loss is quite low. But obviously what does happen is that, children nowadays, they have their headphones on the whole time. They're listening to loud music. And the problem is that will then only manifest itself in a hearing loss later on in age. So here my recommendation would really be make sure your kids are not listening to music for too long at elevated volumes, because that will at some point in time come back and haunt them.
Now, your company recently partnered with Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider on a new ad campaign. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question. Yeah, we're super delighted that we were able to partner up and team up with Dee Snider, who actually himself has a hearing loss. You can imagine as a rock star, he was exposed to loud music for hours on end. It's great that he's willing and open to talk about his hearing loss and pull down those barriers of stigma. We were able to shoot a great campaign with him, set in a noisy restaurant with a lot of humor of them kind of mixing up conversations, and it's really funny. So go and check it out on YouTube. But we're delighted to partner with him. And he's such a great guy. I was privileged to have dinner with him when we launched our Conversation Clear Plus at the CES in Las Vegas. And he's a really nice and personable guy. So we're very happy to partner with Dee Snider.
No, that sounds great. I'll definitely have to check out that video. Now, I just got a couple more questions for you. I know you have a busy schedule, but tell our listeners a little bit about you. What's your background? How did you get started with hearing loss?
Yeah, so I'm half English, half Swiss, born and raised in Switzerland. I did spend my first career with Nestle, the food company, also very big in the US. And then about 8 years ago, I actually got at the time headhunted into Sonova, which is the leading hearing care company worldwide. We have about a 33% global market share. And I was first in charge of the Phonak business, which is our traditional hearing aid brand. And then over the last couple of years, we've been looking into this consumer hearing space. I was instrumental in actually, carrying out the acquisition of the Sennheiser consumer business, and now went on to lead that business globally for Sonova. And I'm having great fun doing that.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we're definitely glad you're doing what you're doing and that you were able to find time to talk with us today. Before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know?
Yeah, just, there are now really great solutions out there which have no stigma. So if you have a challenge understanding conversations in noisy environments, go out there, have your hearing checked, check out our website. There's great solutions out there now. And don't go without treating your hearing loss too long, because there's research which also shows that when people have a hearing loss, they actually start to isolate, they disengage from social activities, and that over time can lead to earlier onset of dementia.
Really?
So from that perspective, it's really important to treat hearing loss.
Wow. Yeah, that's super interesting. Well, again, Martin, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashlee. I'm wishing you a great day.
Thanks for listening to What Matters in NoCo. I'm Ashlee Meehleis with Townsquare Media's Tuned Into NoCo. If you missed part of the show, you can find it on your Townsquare Media station app or website. If you or your organization would like to be considered for Tuned Into NoCo, send me an email at ashlee.meehleis@townsquaremedia.com. That's ASHLEE.MEEHLEIS@townsquaremedia.com.